Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University, School of Social Work, SOSW, Bachelor's degree. Bachelor in Social Work, BSWG. Semester I. BEGLA 135 English in Daily Life. Block 1 Greetings and Goodbye. Unit-1 Starting and Ending Conversations.
1.0 Objectives. After studying this unit, you will be able to begin and end conversations appropriately, have a better understanding of the etiquette to be followed and expressions to be used, monitor your own speech more critically. 1.1 Warm UP. Answer the questions below to know how well you manage your conversations. Answer each question with yes/no sometimes. 1. I feel shy and never open a dialogue with strangers. 2. At a party, I never introduce my friends to my family and colleagues. 3. I feel nervous and confused if I am left alone with unfamiliar people. 4. I have often left parties unnoticed without thanking the host. If your answer has been yes for all the 4 questions, then this lesson will especially help you to open up and become more social. Best of luck. 1.2 Reading Comprehension, Etiquette. Read the passage to understand how and why etiquette matters. But before you read, do you know what etiquette means? Etiquette is a set of customs and rules for polite behavior, especially among a particular class of people or in a particular profession. Etiquette is a system of rules that tell you what is the polite way to behave towards other people. The rules of etiquette cover such things as good table manners, how to introduce one person to another, what to say or do when someone invites you for a meal or a visit, and many other things. Some of the rules of etiquette seem silly, because they began hundreds of years ago when things were not the same as they are today. Most of the rules of etiquette are not silly at all. They are based on the fact that you should never hurt other people's feelings or make things unpleasant or uncomfortable for other people. Kindness is always good manners, and unkindness never is. Many well-established rules of etiquette make more sense when you know how they originated. Origins of etiquette. A man tips or lifts his hat as a polite greeting, usually to a woman, in Western countries because hundreds of years ago knights in armor raised the visors of their helmets so that their faces could be seen. Many well-established rules of etiquette make more sense when you know how they originated. Origins of etiquette. A man tips or lifts his hat as a polite greeting, usually to a woman, in Western countries because hundreds of years ago knights in armor raised the visors of their helmets so that their faces could be seen. People shake hands because long ago men held out their empty hand to show that they were not holding daggers or other weapons. A man walks on the outside of the sidewalk because at one time streets were not paved and were muddy, and by walking on the inside the woman would stand less chance of being splashed by carriages. A man helps a woman across a street or out of a car because years ago in Western countries women's skirts reached to the D and also soles of their shoes and they had to hold them up with their hands and also look down to keep from tripping. Times and manners have changed, but some rules of etiquette are followed all round the world, especially in formal situations. It is however interesting to know about these rules even if you do not need to follow all of them. Some rules of etiquette. Introductions. Always introduce a younger person to an older one. For example, Ms. Verma, may I introduce my friend Nita Kumar? Among grown-ups, a man is generally introduced to a woman, Ms. Verma, may I introduce Mr. Kumar? When you are with one friend and meet another, you must immediately introduce them if they do not already know each other. When you have been out with a friend and as he accompanies you home, you must ask him/her to come in and meet any members of your family who are there unless as he already knows them. It is very rude to fail to make or offer these introductions. Table manners. Different countries have different, polite, ways to use the knife, fork, and spoon, and any one of the ways is all right. Only the fork or spoon may be used to carry food to the mouth, and when the table is set with several knives and forks, the one on the outside is always the one to use next. A napkin should be laid in the lap and never tucked into any part of the clothing. It is considered impolite to lean on the table with your elbows. You should not begin to eat until your host or hostess has begun. It is bad manners to take too large mouthfuls or to talk while there is any food in your mouth. One bite of food should be cut and eaten before another is cut. These are the main rules of table manners, but there are many more. Gifts. Gifts should not be too expensive or too personal, like clothing, unless you know the person very well. Flowers and chocolate are proper gifts from boys to girls. Nowadays young people give treats to friends. Acknowledgement. Before leaving any house in which you are a guest, you must find your host and hostess and thank them. If you have spent the night with them, you should write a letter within a few days at most, and thank them. A thank you note must also be sent promptly for any gift, and it is polite to telephone the next day when you have been at a party or at dinner at somebody else's house. Courtesy to ladies. 50 years ago it was not polite for a man to remain seated when a woman was standing, unless the woman asked him to. When a woman entered a room, every man in the room immediately stood up and remained standing until she sat down or asked them to sit down. A man normally lets a woman go before him through a doorway, or upstairs, or downstairs, and he would not get into a car until she was in it and the door on her side was closed. In taking places at a table, the men did not sit down until the women were seated. Nowadays these rules are not followed except on very formal occasion and mostly in the army. With women joining the workforce in large numbers, norms and less formal. Yet everyone appreciates a young man giving his seat to women in a bus or his waiting to allow children and women into the bus first. There are many books that could give you rules of formal etiquette. Most of these rules are seldom needed. Many of them would be ridiculous if used in ordinary circumstances. The ones that matters are of good taste, kindness, and being sensitive to other people. Check your progress. 1. Say whether the following statements are true or false. Reread the passage to correct the false statements. 1. Rules of etiquette are all silly. 2. A younger person should be introduced to an older person. 3. It is rude to send a friend away from the door without introducing him/her to your family. 3. Answer the following briefly. 1. How should introductions be carried out? What expression will you use? 2. List 3 good table manners. 3. What gifts are acceptable among newly made friends? 4. What should you do before leaving a party or a friend's house? 5. How did the custom of shaking hands start? 6. Why does a man walk on the outside of the sidewalk? 1.3 Listening. Problems in starting a conversation. Read the heading of 1.3. What do you expect to hear? We rarely listen to something without some idea of what we are going to hear. Usually we have some preconceived notion of the subject matter, formality level and so on, of what we are to hear. Our expectations, of course, are linked to our purpose in listening. For example, if we look at the heading, we know we are going to read about some problems about starting conversations. If none of these conditions are true, then we will not listen at all, let alone understand what is spoken. Therefore there is a close association between listener expectation, purpose and comprehension. Heard discourse, which closely corresponds to what the listener expects and needs, is more likely to be understood than that which is unexpected and irrelevant. Check your progress too. Listen to the conversation and answer the questions given below. You may listen to the audio as many times as you require. Please note the text of the audio has been provided in the answers section. 1. Say whether the following statements are true, T, or false, F. For each of the statements either correct it if it is false or give evidence from the listening passage to prove that the statement is true. 1. Dev is the new boy in class. 2. Rinku and Neha are close friends. 3. Neha and Dev are close friends. 4. Rinku appears to be a quiet and shy person. 5. Neha makes friends easily. 2. Answer the following questions briefly. You may have to listen to the conversation again. 1. Find 3 words that tell us the conversation is taking place between students. 2. How does Rinku make fun to Dev? 3. How does Dev make fun of Neha? 4. What is polite behavior with newcomers? 5. Is Neha able to end conversations effectively? How do you know? 1.4 Samples of greetings. Starting a conversation involves making people feel relaxed and comfortable. You may have to start a conversation while welcoming visitors. And, when you don't know others at a meeting, party or social gathering, you may have to start a conversation. Starting a conversation involves 3 steps. A. Greeting. B. Introducing yourself. C. Asking after the other person's well-being. The formulas for these are fixed and usually carry no literal meaning. We say, good morning, even if it is not a good morning and the answer for, how are you, is, fine, thanks, even if you are not well. No one except your close friends really wants to know about your troubles. These are routine courtesies that are followed. The expression you use will vary according to your relationship. You could use some of these expressions when you are introducing. Informal introduction. Renu, have you met Geeta? Geeta, this is Ahmed, a friend of mine from the office. Geeta, hello Ahmed. Ahmed, hello, nice to meet you. Formal introduction. Mukti, Mr. Parikh, may I introduce you to my husband Subhash? Subhash, this is Mr. Parikh, our manager. Mr. Parikh, how do you do? Subhash, how do you do? May I introduce myself? I'm Anju Sahgal from IGNOU. I have an appointment to see the director, Mr. Ahuja, at 3.30. My name is Sunil Arora and I'm from Price Waters. Check your progress. 3. 1. Read the short pieces below and decide on the following for each dialogue. Medium black circle, where is the conversation taking place? Times, what is their relationship? Strangers, friends, family, acquaintances, colleagues, neighbors. Underline the words, expressions that tell you about their relationship. 1. Ramesh Dikshit, what a pleasure to see you, Mr. Sharma. How are you keeping? Vikram Sharma, not bad. How are you doing, Mr. Dikshit? 2. Nitu, good morning. Welcome to Ferguson College, ma'am. The seminar is in room number 16 down this corridor. 3. Krishan Kumar, Mr. Peter Walsh, how do you do? I'm Krishna Kumar, personnel officer. Welcome to Bail. Peter Walsh, thank you, Mr. Kumar. How do you do? 4. Vikram Sharma, good morning, sir. Anil Ratan. Good morning, Vikram. I didn't see you in class yesterday. Are you keeping well? Vikram Sharma, yes sir, thank you very much. 5. Amrita Gill, hi. I'm Amrita Gill. We have just moved into this locality. RK, hi. I'm RK and this is Anu. Anu's in the 9th at Spreendals and I'm in the 12th at Father Agnell. What about you? 6. Students, good morning, ma'am. Teacher, good morning. It's well past 12 o'clock at Spreendals and 7. Visitor, good evening, I have an appointment with David Lee. Reception, good evening, could you sit down for a moment? I'll find out whether Mr. Lee is in. Visitor, of course, I'm Ajay Maghj from ICICI. 1.5 Writing, short responses. Starting a conversation with a stranger is a rather difficult task. Let us practice some situations where you may be required to begin conversations. Check your progress. 4. 1. Think of a comment you could make in the following situations. It needn't be more than a sentence or so. 1. You are waiting on a platform at the railway station. A foreigner who is also waiting says, "It's a nice day, isn't it?" What would you say? 2. You are traveling on the train to a conference in Jaipur. You notice that the man sitting opposite you is also traveling to Jaipur and probably staying at the same guest house as you and attending the same conference. Speak to him. 3. The presentation of one of the speakers at the conference was very interesting. You want to tell her about it and you find yourself standing next to her during the tea break. What would you say? 4. You sit down at the conference dinner next to someone you don't know. Start a conversation. 5. You are at a movie theater. You recognize the man sitting in front of you, but cannot remember where you met him. Speak to him. 2. Reply to the different remarks in a sentence. It is a good idea to learn these remarks. You may often use them in your interactions. 1. Hello Rahul, how are you? 2. Thanks Aditya, for the chocolate. 3. How do you do? 4. How did the meeting go? 5. How's business? 6. Should we stop for coffee on the way home? 7. Sunita sends you her regards. 8. Right then, I'm off. Practice these dialogues with your friend. 1.6 Listening, how to end a conversation. Listen to the conversation between three friends on how to end a conversation. Answer the questions that follow. You will notice that the conversation is in informal style. Can you suggest some reasons for this? Before you listen, you must read the questions below. Check your progress. 5. 1. Say whether the following statements are true, T, or false, F. 1. They've signals that the conversation is drawing to a close. 2. They've uses an inappropriate parting salutation, greeting. 3. Rinku feels that Neha is good at ending a conversation. 4. You can use body language, signs and gestures, to indicate that you wish to close a conversation. 5. Age and status are of no importance in closing conversations. 6. An apology or an excuse can be a polite way of drawing a conversation to a close. 2. Listen to the audio again. Find the exact words, phrase or sentence that is used in the dialogue to do the following. 1. Expression used by they've to signal end of conversation. Answer, so long then. 2. Parting salutation used by they've. 3. Parting salutation used by Rinku. 4. Body language to signal the end of conversation. 5. Example of excuse to close conversation. As you listen to the dialogue, you have to note down specific information from it, and ignore other parts of it. This reproduces a common, real-life, situation, where we listen for what we want to know and treat the rest of the information as redundant. 1.7 Vocabulary, Informal Expression SOSW. Here are some expressions which are important to note and practice in your daily life. 1.8 Farewells and goodbyes. Along with greetings, farewells are an important part of a social interaction both in informal and formal situations. Check your progress. 7. Read the short dialogues below and decide on the following for each piece. 1. Where is the conversation taking place? 2. What is the relationship? Stranger, friends, family, acquaintances, colleagues, neighbors. 3. Underline the words expressions used in each case to a. Signal that the conversation is coming to a close. B. Parting salutation used. 1. Anju, oh my gosh. It's already 5. I'd better rush. Mum will be wondering what happened to me. Preeti, we must get together again soon. Anju, yes, we must. Bye now. Preeti, bye, Anju. Take care. 2. Ms. D'Souza, excuse me, Mr. Verma. Here is the report you wanted. Mr. Verma, ah yes. Thank you, Ms. D'Souza. Ms. D'Souza, I was wondering, sir, if I could leave an hour earlier today. My son is rather ill and needs to be taken to the doctor. Mr. Verma, oh, what's the matter with him? Ms. D'Souza, he's been running a temperature for the past few days, and the doctor had asked for some tests to be done. I have got to pick up the reports before 5. Mr. Verma, well, all right. Do be on time tomorrow. There are some urgent letters to be typed. Ms. D'Souza, thank you, sir. I will. Good night, Mr. Verma. Mr. Verma, good night, Ms. D'Souza. Mr. Martin, well, that's all for now. Shall we call it a day? All, yes, most certainly, sir. Nita, I don't think we can take more of this. Ashok, yes, sir. It's Friday night. We have friends and movies to catch up with. Mr. Martin, that's fine by me. Goodbye, then. Have a nice weekend. All, you, too, sir. Rakesh, hello, Sudha. Fancy bumping into you here. Sudha, hi Rakesh. Nice to see you. What are you doing here? Rakesh, shopping buying vegetables. And you? Sudha, come to see my grandmother. Sorry, can't wait. She'll get anxious. Rakesh, drop in at my place on your way back. Sudha, I'll try. See you. Bye. Rakesh, bye. Jim, thanks for the lovely evening, Lata. It was a nice get-together. And tea food was absolutely delicious. Lata, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. Do drop in again, whenever you have the time. Jim, yes, I will. Good night, Lata, and thanks once again. Lata, good night and take care. Maria, good evening, I'm Manisha Karthik from Net Challenged, Bangalore. Are you Jack Swenson from Toronto? Mike, no, I'm Mike Watson from London. Maria, oh. Sorry about that. I have made a mistake. Good night, Mr. Watson. Mike, goodbye, Miss Karthik. 1.9 Grammar, the simple present tense, verb, to be. Notice the words in bold. I am, you are, as he it is, we are, they are. In conversation and informal writing, we use contractions. I'm, you are, he is, it's, Anju's, we are, they are. Read the passage given below and underline the verbs in it. There is, 1. No need to education. It is, 2. Not that you read a book, pass an examination, and finish with education. The whole of life, from the moment you are, 3. Born to the moment you die, is, 4. A process of learning. J. Krishnamurthy. You will notice that the verbs, read, pass, and, finish, depict some action and are called action verbs. On the other hand, the verbs, is, and, are, depict states and not actions. They are called stative verbs. Pick the subjects for which these have been used. Is, and, are, the simple present forms of the stative verb, be. Other stative verbs are, have, like, think, hope, etc. 1.10 Pronunciation. Practice these greetings and introductions. 1. A. How are you? B. Very well, thank you. And you? 2. A. Pleased to meet you. B. Pleased to meet you, too. 3. A. How do you do? B. How do you do? 4. A. Please call me Anju. B. Then you must call me Rahul. 5. A. How's life? B. Not too bad, but rather busy. 1.11 Summary. This unit has dealt with the importance of starting and ending conversations. It is an aspect of etiquette and social grace that is increasingly important in the global world. The reading passage on etiquette deals with its origin and details some rules of etiquette related to introductions, table manners, gifts, etc. These primarily pertain to Western culture. Indian norms may be different. The listening passages and sample dialogues make students aware of the finer issues involved in starting and ending conversations. For example, 1. Starting involves 3 steps: greeting, introducing yourself, asking after. 2. Ending involves 2 steps: signaling the end, parting salutation. 3. The choice of the expressions, words, phrases to be used depends on the situation, formal, informal, relationship, age, etc. of the persons speaking. 4. The younger junior person is introduced to the senior older person. 5. The initiative to close a conversation must come from the older person. 6. You may indicate your desire to end a conversation through body language or by making excuses, apologies, etc. Thank you. Subscribe to our channel for more updates, and we will see you with the next chapter.